Good, happy Monday evening, June 5th, 2023. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on RK Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Monday evening, so let's get started right now. First up, body of woman found in I-89 breakdown lane in Hopkinton. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Every business owner has a vision.
A big mystery here this afternoon. Police say that woman's body was found in the breakdown lane of I-89, right around mile marker 7.2. That's right in the area of exit 4. But as you mentioned, police are still working to figure out just who she is and how she got there. Now, here is her description. She is described as a white woman with fair skin, strawberry blonde, red hair, and blue eyes. Investigators believe she is between the ages of 18 and 30 with a height of 5'1", weighing about 111 pounds. The woman's toenails and fingernails were painted neon green. She also has a small back tattoo of flying birds. Police were called to this stretch of I-89 just before 12:15 this morning, where they found that woman's body. Right now, they're not saying at this point how she died. Investigators were back out at the scene this afternoon, combing through grass and flying a drone. State police is handling this investigation. Officials there are asking anyone who's driving along I-89 north in Hopkinton between 11:25 last night and 12:15 this morning to give them a call. Officials say they especially want to hear from anyone who noticed a vehicle on the side of the highway between that time frame. And of course, they also want to hear from you if you know anyone fitting that description. You can call State Police Headquarters by dialing 603-223-4381. Reporting live in Concord, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Kayla Montgomery testifies against estranged husband at weapons trial. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
And how do you know him?
He's my husband.
It's been more than a year since they've seen each other. She lied for him, went to prison for him, and now she's divorcing him, and could be the witness that gets him convicted on weapons charges.
I didn't like the guns, first of all, and second of all, he just took them without even, and he could have given them back after they realized they were gone, but he didn't.
Kayla testified about the night Adam took a gun to Manchester's Rockrimmon Park to shoot it.
Because I was nervous and scared that he'd get in trouble.
Why would he get in trouble for having a gun?
Because he's a felon and not supposed to have one.
Adam's defense attorney pressed Kayla on cross-examination for over an hour, implying she changed her story when she needed to make a deal and after she'd read police transcripts.
So your recollection was Manny-ish and Mike with the guns until you read Discovery.
On redirect, the prosecution teed up their star witness.
Who possessed those guns?
Adam.
Who retained those guns?
Adam.
Who stole those guns?
Adam.
No court tomorrow. The jury has the day off. The trial reconvenes on Wednesday. The defense will put on their case. They anticipate calling 2 to 3 witnesses, and then we're on to closings. The jury could be deliberating by Wednesday afternoon. We're live outside Superior Court in Manchester. Amy Cavino, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Man accused of killing girlfriend, child, had lengthy criminal record. Let's take a listen to that video.
Every business.
Marissa, that's right. Records show Jamie Bell had been in and out of jail twice in the past 15 years, and that his parole ended in November. According to court documents, 42-year-old Bell had a lengthy criminal history, including weapons and drug charges. Bell served time for being a felon in possession of a dangerous weapon and possession of a controlled drug with intent to distribute after police found meth and 2 swords, a knife, and an axe in a truck he was driving. Court records also show Bell had previously been convicted on other charges, including criminal threatening, simple assault, and burglary. Investigators say over the weekend he shot and killed 35-year-old Nicole Hughes and their 1.5-year-old daughter, Ariella, before taking his own life in Franklin. Bell is also accused of shooting Hughes' 5-year-old daughter, who we've since learned has been released from the hospital and is back home with family. We're live in Concord. Hannah Cotter, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Chris Sununu devolves into why he's not running for president in an interview with WMUR. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Every business owner.
After all but towing the starting line in the 2024 Republican presidential primary, Governor Chris Sununu announced today he is not running for president, citing the desire not to crowd the field of challengers to former President Donald Trump.
As a non-candidate, I can be a little more unleashed. I can talk a little bit more about where we need to be as a party, about the future, bringing independents and young people onto the ticket. And I think there's just a responsibility to, not just myself, for others to be able to step up and understand this isn't about us. It's really about the Republican Party and ultimately the country.
Sununu has often said he could play the role of referee in the first-in-the-nation Republican primary. In a close race, his endorsement could be a difference maker, but he's in no rush.
We got to see where they go, right? I think I'm not afraid of endorsing a candidate. I think we may use our influence that way, but we got to see who can get on that stage and where the debates fan out, who starts surging or not, who can do the retail politics.
Analysts say even though he's out, Sununu will still be among the Republicans using a national platform to urge the Republican Party to move on from Trump.
And with all of the candidates out there, no one has really figured out a way to strip votes away from the former president, who really is almost like an incumbent. And that's the big challenge.
While he's not running for president, Sununu has still not said if he's going to seek an unprecedented 5th term as governor. And in our interview today, the governor told us that running for re-election is something that's on the table, but that decision is likely going to wait until after the legislative session is over and a budget gets passed. Reporting live in Concord, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. NTSB now investigating deadly jet crash after F-16 intercept. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
Meet the Gorilla. Goes to Wayfair for top grills and gear.
ABC News transportation reporter Sam Sweeney joining us here on set for some more. So what more do we know about what happened? Is it indeed hypoxia?
That's what everybody's going to be focusing on. And this is not an unheard of thing. We saw this with Payne Stewart, PGA golfer. His plane took off out of Florida. It lost contact, and it ended up crashing in South Dakota. Hypoxia can happen within seconds, 8 seconds. And sometimes pilots don't even know what's happening. You know, it's almost like you're under anesthesia. You get that needle, and you think you're going to stay up, and then you're out. And that's what happens. These fighter pilots, they went up, and they saw the pilot slumped over, and likely took out everybody in that airplane.
I remember that was in 1999. I was anchoring that day. We were in breaking news coverage the entire afternoon, and it taught us a lot about hypoxia and what happens, and it was instantaneous for everybody on board. But it's not that common, so
it's not, and that's the danger. When we're on airplanes, commercial planes, we hear "help yourself before helping others" when you're doing that oxygen mask, and that is because it happens so quickly. You don't have time to help somebody else. You need to get it on, and then you need to help that other person, because we are talking seconds. Now, in commercial planes, we have the oxygen masks that fall, and typically commercial pilots, if one goes to use the restroom, the other person has to put on an oxygen mask because it can happen so quickly. But the big also question is the timeline of this. When were the FAA, NORAD, the DOD, the Pentagon notified that this plane wasn't responding? It should have been coming down gradually into the New York airspace. It didn't. It stayed at 34,000 feet. It went around Islip, MacArthur Airport, and then back towards the D.C. area. And the question is, when were those fighter pilots alerted, and why weren't they alerted earlier when it wasn't responding or descending into New York airspace?
Right, and a lot of people are asking, well, why did the military launch, F-16s? That happened after 9/11. The Air Force got the detail. Well, they were a little bit asleep at the wheel at that time, but NORAD made a lot of changes that if indeed a plane enters airspace that's restricted, you call the Air Force to launch and try to bring the plane down. And if not, if it's a threat, if it's a terrorist, they're trained to take it out.
Exactly, and we need to know when those pilots were notified. We know that they went supersonic. We heard those booms, and they did that to catch up with this plane. But by that point, it was already past the D.C. area, and we've heard that the White House and the Capitol went on a heightened alert. They didn't go on red alert, so they didn't evacuate, but they were watching this closely. But they knew that the threat was minimal at 34,000 feet. The good news is here, if there is any, is that this did not crash in a populated area.
Oh, amen to that. Well, I know the investigation continues. We'll follow up and hopefully find out what happened within that cockpit.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Sam.
Yep.
All right.
Hi, everyone. George.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we're going to switch gears now, and let's go to weather. Rain chances continue this week here in New Hampshire. With more on that, here is Matt Honing.
Every business.
Hello, everyone. Meteorologist Matt Honig here with a weather update for you on this Monday evening. It's been a cool and raw pattern the past couple of days, and the rain chances really are not lowering through much of the work week here. We'll call it a medium chance of rain each of the next several days with more clouds, more often on showers, but at least there will be some sunny breaks in between the wet weather. And looking ahead, there is some hope actually that we should see even more dry hours come this weekend. A few showers out there this evening, but we will see some clearing very late tonight. Your temperatures dropping back into the 40s, especially northern and western New Hampshire, more like the lower 50s in some of the bigger cities across southern New Hampshire. The Gulf of Maine has been very active the past couple of days. Some rough surf out that way, and that actually brings up some concerns about coastal flooding at Hampton Harbor tonight. There's a high tide just after 1 o'clock in the morning. There could be some minor splashover and beach erosion, but the tide levels do come down here by tomorrow. What's been happening is there's this area of low pressure that has just parked itself just south of Nova Scotia. You can even see some thunderstorm activity this evening surrounding that center of circulation. And as long as this storm stays in place, we'll be holding on to the cooler than average temperatures and daily shower chances. It's really a tease because the sunshine is not too far away from us. In Burlington, Vermont this afternoon, they got to the mid-70s with a lot of sunshine. But also off to our west is some wildfire smoke. There are some new fires burning across central Quebec, and there are some real air quality concerns heading into the day tomorrow as some of this wildfire smoke drifts through our area along a north to northwesterly wind, especially over interior parts of New Hampshire. I think the smoke will be thickest, and then we'll keep it in our area through Wednesday and probably again on Thursday. So any limited breaks of sun we see tomorrow will really be obscured by some of that wildfire smoke, a very hazy appearance to the sky for a time tomorrow. Also, there are some of those air quality concerns, especially along and west of 93. New Hampshire DES recommending those who have maybe asthma or other lung conditions to really limit their time outdoors due to some of the reduced air quality.
Speaking of tomorrow's forecast, it is a day featuring big improvements, especially compared to where we were today and, of course, over the weekend. High temperatures in Concord tomorrow should get above 70, which is much closer to average for early June. We should also see some sunshine, especially morning and midday. However, by the afternoon, there could be a few additional showers. Here on Futurecast, we'll wake up to temperatures in the 50s tomorrow morning with some sunny breaks. Where we see the most sun in southern New Hampshire, we should get above 70 by midday and early afternoon. The clouds and lingering showers up north, though, will hold temperatures there to the 60s. Best chance for a shower later tomorrow is going to be through the Upper Valley and the Monadnock region, but it's not out of the question that even the Merrimack Valley could see a few scattered showers and maybe even a rumble of thunder through tomorrow evening. Then we trend back in the wrong direction heading into Wednesday. That area of low pressure I was talking about near Nova Scotia, it drifts back toward our area, and that will lock in more clouds, more cooler weather, and at least a few spot showers for midweek. But really, none of the next 7 days are total washouts. That is the good news if you have outdoor plants. Here's your 7-day forecast. We're above 70 for some tomorrow. Chance for an afternoon shower or thunderstorm. More clouds and showers will take us through late week. There is some hope, though, that by the weekend, we slowly start to dry things out. Still maybe a lingering shower or two Saturday. Sunday looks brighter and a bit warmer as well, with temperatures well into the 70s. And then the unsettled pattern continues probably for a good chunk of early next week, with more clouds and more chances for rain starting on Monday.
Okay, and there you go on that weather forecast from meteorologist Matt Honing, and that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on RK Network. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Good night and goodbye.